For a healthier and happier lifestyle, Red Jeep Tours is proud to bring you Living Better.
Brought to you by Gelato Granucci and Reverse Mortgage Works.
A healthier lifestyle lets you live a longer, happier life. I'm Lori Larson. Let's get started. Living Better, featuring Dr. Joseph Scherger, Eisenhower family physician and owner and medical director of Restore Health Disease Reversal.
People are all interested in their hormones, whether it be their sex hormones, their stress hormones.
And featuring Chef David Horgan, creative executive chef at PS Underground.
Do you like ice cream?
I love ice cream.
I know, me too. I was thinking of making something a little healthier version.
Also featuring Alma Smith from Orange Theory Fitness, who will help you reach your fitness goals.
Now you should definitely be feeling it not only in your glutes, but your hamstrings.
Enjoy your life, living better.
Welcome to Season 2 of Living Better.
Today, Dr. Scherger, we're going to be talking about hormones. This is a very important subject because hormones have so much to do with our health, our energy levels, and even diseases. And I would love to know what it has to do with all of those things.
Well, thank you, Lori. Hormones are so important and so interesting. People are all interested in their hormones, whether it be their sex hormones, their stress hormones, their thyroid hormones. And we're going to talk about all of that as we talk about hormones. But what's interesting is we have this master hormone gland that's inside our skull. It's called the pituitary gland. And they call it the master gland because the pituitary secretes hormones that stimulate the hormone production of our thyroid, our ovaries, and our adrenal glands. So it all gets regulated by this pituitary gland. And actually, our brain has a lot to do with it. Why the pituitary gland is in our skull is it's right next to a part of the brain called the hypothalamus that regulates what the pituitary does. Hormones are all proteins. They're proteins that are kind of messengers in the body, and they go around, and actually, we used to think there was a limited number of them. We now know there are many, many hundreds. Very complicated subject. But the big picture is still there the same. So let's talk about this pituitary gland. It creates stimulating hormones that go down and stimulate a particular gland. So let's work on the thyroid gland first. The most sensitive measure of your thyroid function is actually not a thyroid hormone at all. It's the pituitary hormone TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone. That's the most sensitive test for how your thyroid gland is doing. Now it's a feedback loop, which means it's a circle. The pituitary gland puts out TSH, which tells your thyroid to make more thyroid hormone. When that goes into the bloodstream, it actually circulates back to the pituitary saying, it worked, I'm out here, you can stop stimulating or you don't need to stimulate anymore. So what happens is if your thyroid gland becomes weak, you're on your way to hypothyroidism, which is quite common. The pituitary is working harder and your TSH goes up. So a lot of people get confused when they see their lab results. Their TSH has gone up and their doctor is saying they're low thyroid. And that's because the pituitary is having to work extra hard to stimulate the thyroid. And that's when you need to take thyroid supplementation.
So I've heard of people having hypo or hyperthyroidism, and is, being on the drugs the only answer?
Well, diet can have a lot to do with it. And a lot of the books that I reference in Lean and Fit talk about that if you're eating an inflammatory diet, you can trigger an autoimmune thyroid disease. It's called Hashimoto's thyroiditis. But what that means is that you've got enough inflammation going on in your thyroid gland that it's shut down the production of thyroid hormone, and the pituitary has to work harder and harder, and eventually, if it gets quite bad, your TSH can go sky high and you're still putting out very little thyroid hormone.
So like with most autoimmune diseases that we've talked about, it can help be controlled with the diet, in an anti-inflammatory diet.
Correct. There are all kinds of books about the thyroid diet, and they're all good. They tell you to eat vegetables and get off of inflammatory foods. But I will say that that's one of the diseases that we cannot completely reverse. It would be nice if we could, and I have seen it in rare cases. But I've been hypothyroid for 14 years. As a Midwesterner from Ohio, raised on bread and cow's milk and all those things, at age 57, I realized I was getting a little slow and sluggish and gained about 5 extra pounds. And I suspected that my thyroid was becoming underactive, and indeed it was. So starting 14 years ago, I have been taking a thyroid hormone to get my numbers normal.
Looking for a safe and fun outdoor adventure? Then let Palm Springs' world-famous Red Jeep Tours transport you to a desert wonderland. Choose from a variety of exciting adventures. Journey through the bones of the earth on our signature San Andreas Fall Tour at our private and exclusive Metate Ranch. Explore narrow-walled slot canyons, a natural palm oasis, and learn about local Native American culture. Red Jeep Tours, offering experiences that engage, educate, and entertain since 1988.
If you'd like to join thousands of people living better with the all-new lower-cost reverse or retirement mortgage, call Mark and Brian with Reverse Mortgage Works. We are local, licensed, certified professionals. Call to receive your free quote and learn about a retirement mortgage today.
Hi, I'm Jan, and welcome to Kitchen Kitchen. When you first walk in, you're going to notice the wonderful aroma of our gourmet coffees. Peruse the well-stocked shelves filled with those unique and hard-to-find items, and check out our wide selection of bakeware, barware, and barbecue, as well as our full line of quality cookware, cutlery, and gadgets galore. We also offer knife and scissor sharpening, so you can shop while we sharpen. Need a gift? We have it for everyone on your list, and even offer beautiful complimentary gift wrap. Follow me into the kitchen, where we hold the cooking classes and private events. You may even catch a demo of our best-selling gadgets, such as the square egg press, the pineapple slicer, the apple peeler, the electric rotato, and my personal favorite, the chopper. Stop by Kitchen Kitchen today. Family owned and operated for 3 generations since 1979. So come on into Kitchen Kitchen. Hope to see you soon.
How would someone know if they have hypothyroidism?
Well, hypothyroidism turns down the metabolism. I always say compare it to the idle of your car. If your car starts stalling, something's wrong with that. Well, the thyroid keeps our metabolism humming along at a nice rate. So if you get low thyroid, you lose energy. You're hit with sudden fatigue. But also, as your metabolism slows down, you don't burn the same number of calories, so you add weight. And then you have skin and hair changes as things get even farther along. So these are all the symptoms and the signs of hypothyroidism. Now, the other disease is hyperthyroidism. That comes when the thyroid gland itself gets inflamed. It can happen because of a virus, or happen for reasons we're not even clear why, but all of a sudden your thyroid goes haywire, producing more thyroid hormone. The pituitary shuts down, saying, wait a second, this gland is out of control, I'm not going to stimulate it anymore. And you get palpitations, and you thin out your bones, and a high heart rate, and these are all signs of hyper.
And lose weight.
Well, yeah, you can get real skinny, but you don't use thyroid to gain or lose weight.
Right.
It doesn't work to your health.
Right.
And if you're interested in your health, you're not going to overtreat your thyroid with thyroid hormone just to lose weight. The result is not healthy.
So if these symptoms are left unchecked, what can happen?
Well, you become unwell in a wide variety of ways. I mean, your cholesterol numbers get bad, with raising risk of heart disease. You know, your weight goes up as part of that, as we talked about. You get the hair and skin changes. So you you become a pretty unhealthy person. And in the days before we could actually replace thyroid hormone, people would go into a coma called myxedema coma. So you can actually lose consciousness and die from not having thyroid hormone. But we don't see that very much today.
So it's very important to, if you are having these symptoms, to visit your physician and find out what's going on, get to the bottom of it, and get the medicine that you need. And that will help balance them out.
That's correct. There are a variety of diseases, like Graves' disease is a name for hyperthyroidism that also makes your eyes bulge. And it's a serious autoimmune disease that makes you hyper, where Hashimoto's makes you hypo. You can get tumors of your thyroid gland. It's a very cystic organ, and some people get thyroid cancer. It's actually quite common, but those nodules can produce too much thyroid hormone.
So what people need to do is when they have these symptoms of hyper or hypothyroidism, visit their doctor, find out what's going on, and they can help.
Yes. Start with your primary care doctor. A lot of people think they automatically need an endocrinologist.
Right.
And it's not necessarily, I mean, endocrinologists are there, but a good primary care doctor, whether it be family medicine, internal medicine, can let you know. And if it's typical common hypothyroidism, your primary care doctor can take care of it very well.
Well, thank you so much. This has been very enlightening and educational.
Thank you, Lori.
Do you like ice cream?
I love ice cream.
I know, me too. I could sit down and eat like a whole pint or two of it in front of the TV, but I was thinking of making something a little healthier version. So I've got these bananas, which I don't know, they don't look so good, right?
Right.
Actually, what I do at home a lot is when they start looking like this, I usually end up buying a bunch and one goes bad, or the last one of the bunch. I just throw them in the freezer or something. When they get really dark like this, they're great for what we're doing today. So if you want to help me peel.
Do you know why they're so great for this?
Why?
Because as a banana ripens, it's more and more sugar. So you have more sugars in the bananas as they get ripe.
And the flavor gets so much deeper and richer.
Yes.
It's just perfect for this.
Yes.
We're just going to throw these in a food processor. And then this is pretty simple, really. I've got a half a can of coconut cream here. It's a little thicker and richer, a little higher fat content.
Did you get that in a can? Or?
Yes,
okay.
yes, it's in the can, and I shook it really good to mix it all together so you get whatever liquid is in there.
Yeah, my favorite thing to do is to help people find substitutions to something that so that way they don't feel deprived. They're getting something good and sweet and creamy, but it's not all the calories and preservatives.
Exactly. And you know exactly what went into it because you made it yourself.
Right.
This is a Chinese 5-spice powder I made. It's a little bit of fennel, clove, cinnamon, star anise, and red peppercorns. Toast them in a pan, run them through a little coffee grinder. And then my favorite, little vanilla extract. Oh, I'm just going to dump it all in there.
Yeah, you can't get too vanilla-y.
No, that's about 3 tablespoons. And then we're just going to puree this. You probably want to stop halfway through and scrape down the sides to get all that good stuff in case there's some ingredients that aren't cooperating.
Could you put this in a blender if you didn't have a food processor at home? Or an immersion blender?
Exactly. I'm just going to do a little more.
This Chinese 5-spice smells so good.
Isn't it though?
Did you just get it at like a regular grocery store?
This one I made, but you can.
Okay.
You can get it at any grocery store in the spice aisle. But I had everything on hand, so I thought, why not? Just go ahead and make my own. There we go. Now that that's all nice and smooth, you can really, it smells delicious.
That's like a batter.
It is kind of. All right, so now that this is all blended, we're just going to go ahead and put it in the ice cream maker. And really, if you wanted to, you could just use frozen bananas and just put them in a food processor, blend them yourself, and just eat it that way.
Yeah.
Put it in the freezer for a bit if you don't want to go through all this. Or if you don't have an ice cream maker. Just plunk it right in there. There we go. And then we're going to run this for about 30 minutes. When it's fairly firm, we're going to just scrape it into a little container and put it in the freezer and let it sit for about an hour or so. And then it should be ready to go.
All right.
So.
Restore Health Disease Reversal can help us to a healthier lifestyle.
Restore Health is a personalized health service that will help you get back to living better. We work closely with you to create a plan that best suits your goals and needs for a happier, healthier lifestyle. So when you choose to restore your health, give us a call.
Take control of your life with Restore Health.
Welcome to Gelato Granucci, the little shop with the big flavors.
Gelato Granucci's brilliant flavor designers combine only the finest quality ingredients to make unique flavors fresh every day. Flavors like Amarena Sour Cherry, Tiramisu, and Joshua Tree Coffee. We have gelato cakes, gelato cannoli, pops, and pints to go. Located on North Palm Canyon in downtown Palm Springs. Gelato Granucci. Come experience the art of gelato.
Hello, I'm Carlos King. My passion is designing fabulous homes. I work closely with my clients to achieve the look and feel that matches their vision. My greatest satisfaction is the wow factor when my clients see our finished project. Let me translate your dreams into a visual reality. Call me at 760-880-9987.
Welcome to Desert Outreach Synagogue, the voice of the valley. A place called home to anyone who needs one. A place of incredible music, community, conversation, and connection. Come join us. You already belong.
Dave, I see a
Yes.
pineapple over here. What are we doing with that?
That's going to be part of our dessert. So if you want to hand me that and that fun gadget there, let me
I
show
love kitchen gadgets.
you. Well, this one, you just cut the top off the pineapple, and then you've got that like that. And then this little guy, you can see where the little core is there. You put it right over the core, push it down, and then use a little elbow grease.
Wow, look at that. This is way easier than how I cut pineapple.
If you want rings, you can always just open a can,
Yes, that's actually.
these are nice and fresh this way.
Yeah, very nice.
And then the fun part is getting it out of there.
Very good.
Thank you very much for your
welcome.
assistance. And then this little lid, or the handle comes off. And then,
Voila.
there you go.
Wow.
You've got all these nice little rings, and then you just give it a cut. And then they come out just like that.
Wow, that's so fancy.
So what we're gonna do is while our ice cream is in the freezer getting nice and firm, we're gonna saute these in the pan, just sear them off a little bit, get a little golden brown on them. So
Yeah.
go ahead and if you wanna help
Sure.
me, just throw a few in there.
I love seared pineapple because it really changes the flavor of it.
It does, caramelizes it on the outside a little bit. Sometimes I like to grill it too.
Yes.
So we'll just kind of let that sit for a bit, give it a flip, and then they're done.
Okay.
And while we're doing that, I'm gonna turn on this burner and get a little dry pan heating up. You wanna hand me that coconut? We have a little unsweetened grated coconut. We're just gonna put it in a dry pan and just swing it around in there for a little bit until it starts to brown. When you're toasting coconut, you start stirring it in a hot, dry pan like that, and just when you think nothing's gonna happen, don't stop stirring, and all of a sudden it just starts turning brown before your eyes, and it's really fast. Once it gets going like that, you just keep stirring and pull it off the heat right
Okay.
away. So we'll just let that go for a bit till it starts to brown. See, it's starting to brown.
Oh, sure.
It goes really fast.
All right. So I turned off the heat.
Oh, you did good. It's gonna keep going a little bit because the pan's still
Cooks
hot.
on its own, yeah.
Yep,
Go ahead and put it in.
Yeah.
You don't want it to overcook.
exactly. It'll get too dark.
This isn't blackened coconut, is it?
No.
It's toasted. Looks great.
God, that smells good. I
So
love this.
tropical. It smells so tropical.
Oh, that looks nice. I'm gonna go ahead and bring these over. That one's a little lighter. I just like the color and the caramelization that happens on there.
Yes. That's the thing about cooking fruits and vegetables is preparing them different ways, you really get different flavors out of it.
Exactly. All right, so let me get our ice cream. I think it's about ready. Yeah, that's just about the right texture. Perfect. All right, so let's start by getting a nice little ring of pineapple in the center. That toasted coconut you did turned out perfect.
Yeah, it looks perfect. Well, if you weren't a fan of the 5 spice, we could make that into different flavors too.
Oh yeah, you could do anything you wanted. You could just do straight vanilla, or just cinnamon, something like that. You could add little bits of chopped chocolate chips, chopped nuts, anything.
Pumpkin spice?
Oh yeah, definitely. All right, there we go.
Oh, that's beautiful.
There we go. And then we'll just sprinkle a little bit of this toasted coconut on top.
Oh, it's hot.
There we go.
Beautiful. Should we taste this, Dave?
I think we should.
Okay.
Let's dig in.
This is such a great alternative to a really high-calorie dessert, and it's just as satisfying.
Got all the flavors in that 5 spices in there that just taste so good.
And the vanilla.
Yum.
And the pineapple and the coconut.
Okay, I could dig into this.
Yeah, you do such an amazing job at making not only delicious food, but really healthful, nutritious foods too.
That's the whole key to it, just using different flavors and things to make things taste delicious, but you don't necessarily have to make them so high calorie then. Wow.
Cheers, Chef Dave.
Cheers.
Living Better thanks Red Jeep Tours by Desert Adventures for bringing closed captioning to the hearing impaired. Today, we're doing strength, is that right?
That is correct. We are gonna do lower body strength exercises. So you see your bench is on a higher height than mine. So this will be the option for someone who's just starting. We can always use the weights or not. So today we're gonna show a step up, and this may look easy, but once you start stepping up on a higher bench, you'll definitely feel your heart rate working up into higher zones. Now, if we wanted to challenge our bodies a little bit more, you and I will pick up those weights, set the shoulders back and lead with the heel, and then step back. And you can alternate legs. So these are called step ups.
Wow, I'm really feeling this in my glutes.
Yes, and you're probably feeling it in your quads as well.
Yeah, my glutes, my quads, and my abs.
Yes, in every single exercise that you do here, we prompt you to brace your core. That will allow you to keep a good posture for every single exercise. And that is even more important when you're loading an exercise with weights, as you're doing right now.
What does bracing your core mean?
It means you're sucking everything in. You're protecting your spine. So if you can think of pulling your belly button towards your spine, that allows your back to stay nice and neutral.
Well, that's getting my heart rate up.
Yes. You are definitely going through all those 5 heart rate zones. Gray to blue to green, which is the zone that we mostly spend when we're lifting. It's still an aerobic zone rather than an orange or red, which is anaerobic, where you're no longer using oxygen to fuel that activity.
So when you're doing your weightlifting, you're in the heart rate that actually burns fat.
Yes, that's correct. About half and half fat, half carbs.
Fantastic. I love that one.
Bobby Botina's Mexican and American Grill, coming soon to the river in Rancho Mirage. Lunch, happy hour, dinner, and evening entertainment. Bobby Botina's, coming soon to the river in Rancho Mirage.
When you think of Palm Springs, you think of sunshine, palms, and beautiful backyard pools. Let Sunny Palm Pool Service take the worry out of maintaining the most important pool around, yours. Sunny Palm Pool Service offers concierge service for your pool or spa. Top quality and reliable maintenance and repairs. Sunny Palm Pool Service. We'll do the work. You do the relaxing. Call Rod at 760-333-4804.
If you'd like to join thousands of people living better with the all-new lower-cost reverse or retirement mortgage, call Mark and Brian with Reverse Mortgage Works. We are local, licensed, certified professionals. Call to receive your free quote and learn about a retirement mortgage today.
Looking for a safe and fun outdoor adventure? Then let Palm Springs world-famous Red Jeep Tours transport you to a desert wonderland. Choose from a variety of exciting adventures. Journey through the bones of the earth on our signature San Andreas Fault Tour at our private and exclusive Metate Ranch. Explore narrow-walled slot canyons, a natural palm oasis, and learn about local Native American culture. Red Jeep Tours, offering experiences that engage, educate, and entertain since 1988.
What else can we do with these fun steps?
All right, well, we can do lunges. So from a standing position on the bench, you can take a wide step back, push off with a heel back to your original position. So now you should definitely be feeling it, not only in your glutes, but your hamstrings, which are the muscles on the back of your legs.
Well, this is really good for balance too, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. And talking about balance, we can do another exercise. So if you're now facing the bench the same way, and you just pretend that the floor is hot lava, bring your hips back and just try to barely touch that floor.
Ooh, that's
so now
one.
you're really engaging that core, working on that quadricep unilaterally. Perfect. Now go ahead and switch legs. Barely touching that floor.
That's harder than it looks.
It is. Good job.
Is it true that all the classes are the same throughout the country?
Yes.
On the same day?
Yes. All of our classes in that day are the same, whether you are working here with us in Palm Desert, Palm Springs, or you're in New York, Australia, Spain. We're all doing the same workout. Now, from day to day, the classes are different.
And why do they do that? Is there a reason?
Yes, absolutely, because we talked about that our bodies are so smart, they get used to the same movement. Not only that, but if we did the same class day in and day out, your body wears down. It leads to overuse injury. And I don't know about you, but knowing what I'm going to do every day, it just makes it really boring.
Right, and then if you had a friend who lived somewhere else, they're doing the same workout that you're doing, and so you could kind of compare stats.
Absolutely, you can compare how many calories you burn, how many minutes you spend in those high intensity zones, and it just makes it for a family, an extended family across not only the US, but across the globe.
So then I become a part of the Orange Theory community.
That's right, you can be one of those million members, and so can you, so come join us.